Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the swarm of locusts. With today's episode, we're gonna take a little road trip, but I promise you, this is no ordinary ride. In collaboration alongside me today are Creaks and Peeks, as well as Mr.Fear. Please do check out their channels and subscribe to them. They're quite phenomenal. Links can be found in the description below. Also, be sure to stab that like button. It helps out with the algorithm tremendously, and I would truly appreciate it. So, with that out of the way, let's dive right in, shall we? I never believed in pure evil. Sure, people can do bad things. Hell, they do them all the time. But that doesn't mean people are simply born bad. That concept never really made much sense to me, even in my policeman days. Badness or goodness is a result of the decisions you make. I mean, yeah, the drug dealer or wife beater is a bad person. I ain't denying that, but I guarantee that you didn't come out of the womb slinging meth or wielding a hatred for anybody else. No, that shit is learned. All of the evil in this world is a result of bad habits and learned behavior. Someone taught that little tyke what hatred meant, and it stuck with him until the day he went out and stabbed his mama 16 times. As she lay there, dying in my arms, she locked her hands around mine and whispered one last strange sentence. He wasn't born this way, I swear it. She spent her dying breath defending the morality of the son who killed her. Her belief stuck with me long after paramedics arrived and announced her dead, and even longer still after my wife washed the blood out of my rookie uniform. It stuck with me as I climbed up the police ladder, eventually being named detective, and it stuck with me still after I took on case after case. I saw a lot of badness in this world, but never pure evil. That was until the murder bus of Route 66. I know, the name is cliche, but once the press got wind of the story, they slapped a catchy nickname on it and it stuck, much to our force's dismay. I was the lead on the case, and I was pretty eager to prove my worth. I was still gaining my bearings as a detective, and a huge case like this could really make or break my career. The call came in at 4 in the afternoon. A young teenager had been murdered, pretty brutally at that. Luckily, the suspects were all contained, seeing as, well, the murder took place on a bus in the middle of Route 66 in the Arizona desert. The bus route was 3 hours and 15 minutes from Hackberry to Joseph City. There were no stops along the way. In those 3 hours, hell on earth was unleashed. The victim had been beaten, stabbed, choked, sodomized, and gutted. His intestines were found wrapped around his neck, hanging from a broken air vent. He was naked from the waist down, his earphones looped around his genitals, which had apparently been crushed. Blood had splattered the bus and the passengers. But the passengers either didn't notice or didn't care. They were found calmly seated in their respective seats, staring straight ahead as the bus pulled into the terminal. There were 12 people total on that bus, the victim, 10 passengers, and 1 driver. All were suspects, and they all had to be interviewed. We took them into separate holding cells and brought them out one by one to interview. It's been years since the interviews happened, but they still haunt me to my core. There are things I can't seem to explain, no matter how hard I try to. I'm hoping you here could provide me with some answers. I dug out my old recordings and have transcribed them here with my personal notes. But I warn you, they are disturbing. Olivia Cornell was a retired beauty queen and my first interview. Miss, do you mind stating your name for the record?
Olivia Marie Cornell.
Great. Now how old are you?
You're not supposed to ask a lady that.
It's for the record, miss.
42.
Can you confirm that you were on the noon bus at Hackberry to Joseph City?
Yes, but you know that already.
Just checking, miss. Where were you seated?
At the front of the bus.
Okay, great. And can you state your reason for your travel?
Why do you need to know that?
We're just trying to get our facts straight.
I don't see how this is relevant to what happened.
Unfortunately, you don't get to decide what is relevant here. Now please, I would appreciate it if you could answer the question.
I was visiting a friend.
A friend? At this point, I noticed a wedding ring on her finger. She eyed me looking at it and covered it with her other hand. A boyfriend perhaps? Olivia just nodded, her eyes filling up with tears. Infidelity wasn't the crime here. There was something much larger that had my attention. Miss, can you tell me what happened on that bus?
I am not really sure how to answer that.
Her response was slow, calculated. I was growing impatient. Okay, just start from the beginning.
I guess it was a normal trip.
I slid a picture of the victim across the table. Timmy O'Brien. He was 16 and visiting his dad. His parents had divorced when he was a kid, and they lived in different parts of the state with shared custody. His mother and father were frantic. Do you really think this was a normal trip?
No, I wouldn't say that's a normal trip.
So let's start again. Tell me what happened.
Well, I needed to get home to see my husband, and the bus was the fastest way. See, he was supposed to be on a business trip for a few days, but the last conference was cancelled. He didn't know.
He didn't know you were cheating on him? I know I was out of line. I know that. But I hate cheaters, especially considering I found my own wife in bed with my brother a year ago.
He didn't know about my trip, see, and I couldn't just let him find out. So I purchased the bus ticket to try to beat him home. This bus was the only one that would get me there in time.
She paused and sprung into a fresh wave of tears.
Oh God, he's going to find out now, isn't he? The man with the cane was right. I should have listened to him sooner.
I paused, my breath caught in my throat. There had been no record of a man with a cane. Every one of the passengers and the driver could walk without assistance. What man with a cane?
The man in the bus. He was sitting on my left, near the aisle. He had this old wooden cane. It had a silver crow on it, or something, I don't know. He told me that my husband would find out. He told me that the boy would tell him once we got off the bus. Oh God.
What boy?
That boy. The man told me that the boy knew about my trip and would tell my husband.
And you had reason to believe that this was true? Ma'am, please, I'm gonna need you to calm down and tell me about this man.
I'm sorry,
It's okay, just take your time.
I can't just explain it. But he told me that the kid knew and would tell my husband everything. And the kid just sat across the aisle, smirking with his damn headphones in. He was laughing at me, I swear it. Judging me with those beady eyes, like he could possibly know who I am, like he could possibly judge me.
Tell me what happened next.
The man put the cane across the boy's chest and held him still. while I stabbed him in the gut with my nail clipper.
She said it so calmly, as if it was a matter of fact. She leaned back in her chair and dabbed her wet eyes, wiping away the leaking mascara. So you believe he judged you? That's why you killed them?
No one can judge me. No one.
I'm not going to lie. I was out of my element. She had clearly confessed, but the stabbing only accounted for a portion of the kid's wounds. Where did the rest come from? And who was the man with the cane? I made a note to check out the crime scene to see if a cane had been found. I showed her photographs of the 11 other individuals on the bus, the 9 other passengers, the driver, and the victim. I asked her to identify who the man with the cane was. Olivia only frowned, scrunching her eyebrows up.
That's not everyone.
Yes, it is. There were 12 people on the bus, including you.
No, there were 13.
After Olivia, the interviews only got more confusing. My next one was with Dave Watson. He was a retired pastor. I was hoping he could corroborate Olivia's story, or at least confirm that there were 12 people on the bus.
No, 13. There was 13 people on that bus. You have my word. You're missing one.
I sighed as I looked down at the stack of photos in front of me. Guess I would come back to the extra passenger later. Okay, can you tell me what happened on the bus?
Well, I was traveling to see my sister. She's not well, and I thought I could cheer her up.
That's very kind of you.
Just doing the Lord's work, you know?
You said you were a pastor?
Yes. Yes, I was.
And why'd you retire? You said you were 54. That doesn't seem too old. My pastor is 63 at least.
There was some rumors going around in the church, spread by Harvard folk. Rumors of me doing immoral things, but they ain't true. They don't have no proof.
What kind of rumors?
I don't really want to talk about that now.
I know it's unpleasant to talk about certain things, but I need to know.
Just rumors. Talk. Talk is talk. It doesn't mean nothing.
Listen, I'm going to ask you once more.
It was rumors, okay? Rumors about me and boys. There ain't no truth to it. I was happily married for 14 years until my wife passed. There's no way I'm a damn gay.
There's nothing wrong with being gay. I bit my lip to hold myself back from saying anything. Instead, I changed the subject. Let's just talk about what happened on the bus, okay?
Okay.
So, you were on the bus to visit your sister. Can you tell me where you were sitting?
I was somewhere in the middle of the bus, right next to the window. I like to look at the scenery, but there wasn't much out there but road and dirt, so I was watching the people on the bus instead.
That's understandable. Did anyone stick out to you?
Well, the kid did.
This kid? As I pointed to the picture of the victim.
Yeah, that one.
Why did he stick out to you?
Well, sir, he was a gay.
And how do you know he was gay? Just by looking at him?
Well, the man told me. He was sitting on my left right in front of me. Said the kid was looking my way, making lewd comments and such. Saying some nasty things.
What man? Was he one of these? As I gestured to the photos.
No, sir. You don't got a photo of him, that's for sure.
What did this man look like?
Well, he was a normal-looking man. Maybe a bit older. He had glasses, I think. Those tiny little spectacle ones, and a bowler hat. He was wearing a pretty nice three-piece suit, too. Now that I do remember. Had some sort of pocket watch, too, that he kept looking at every now and then.
Did he have anything else with him?
Well, now that I think of it, I think he had a cane too. Yeah, a wooden cane of some sort. Had a type of bird or something on the end. Not too sure what kind though.
I froze. He was describing the same man Olivia had mentioned. So you believe this man?
Of course. I could tell myself that boy was no good.
Okay. Can you tell me what happened next?
I don't really want to go much into it.
I know it's unpleasant, but we really need you to answer the question.
Well, the boy got up to use the restroom in the back, I guess. He was giving me those eyes, I swear he was. He was trying to get me to join him in there. That's what the man said. Such a disgusting boy, real nasty. I'm an honorable man. I was married for 14 years.
So he got up to use the restroom. What happened next?
Well, the man was in the seat in front of me, you know. So he puts out his cane and he trips the boy as he is passing him. The kid fell flat on his face right in the aisle. And then that gave me a chance to, well, I gave that boy exactly what he wanted. Nasty pervert deserved it.
The coroner's report claimed that the victim was sodomized with a nightstick, which Dave Watson had been found in possession of at the crime scene. It was coated in blood. I ended the interview right here. The first two interviews were disturbing for a number of reasons. Not only did they mention a mysterious man with a cane, but they also confessed to murdering the victim in two separate ways. The interview subjects claimed that they were the only one who touched the victim, stating that there were no other wounds present before or after their individual assault. To make matters more disturbing, the coroner's report claimed that all the wounds happened at a relatively same time, meaning the two passengers had to have attacked the victim together. There had to be other attacks as well that would account for the choking, disembowelment, etc. It just didn't add up. I also checked the security footage myself of the initial departure of the bus. All 11 passengers had entered the bus, followed by the driver himself. There was no footage of a man with a cane entering or exiting the bus. There was no record of him at all. I'll type up the rest of my recordings tomorrow. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you all enjoyed this episode. Let me know in the comments below if I should continue this series. I'm sure if you made it this far, you're dying to find out what happened to poor Timmy O'Brien. Well, that does it for old Skin Locust over here. I hope you all have a blessed week, and keep on doing you. Stay beautiful, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, and one more thing. And last but not least, always remember, I am the words that keep the locust buzzing. Join me.